Hi, thanks for being here today. My name is Anna, and this is Jasper in his little sweater. And today's class is going to be one that is beginner friendly and that will help you focus on your posture a little bit more. So I'm going to be using a block. So if you have one, please grab it. And you're always welcome to use 2 blocks, maybe for like a downward facing dog. So go ahead, grab any props you'd like to use, and let's get started on your back. So for now, you can just have the block nearby. We won't be using it quite yet. Excuse me, little guy. There we go. All right, so coming down onto your back, go ahead and place your feet on the floor so your knees are bent. And take a moment here just to let your arms relax by your sides. And start to notice your breath. Beginning to breathe in and out through your nose, and just noticing a softness around your neck and your shoulders. And continuing with that breath, I just want you to draw attention to 3 areas on the back of your body. So the first being the back of your skull. And I want you to notice that area resting heavy on the floor. And so letting your chin come down ever so slightly so that you're lengthening through the back of your neck. And then drawing your attention down a bit to the space around your shoulder blades. And notice that your shoulder blades can settle and land on the floor. And you can feel that connection there. And then moving down one more time to your sacrum. So that is the area right at the base of your spine, where the spine and the pelvis meet. And see if you can feel that area resting on the floor, and notice that connection there. And so just take a moment to imprint that into your brain. That is something that we are going to be coming back to in some different positions. And then go ahead and grab your block here. And we'll take the block between your thighs. So we're going to set up for a bridge pose. So you can have your hands on your thighs here to start. And now take your tailbone, begin to lengthen it toward your heels so you feel your lower back come a little bit closer to the floor. And now think about squeezing your glutes here. So you can even reach back and give those glutes a little bit of a tap. So we want them to be working here to lift the hips. So we're coming up into a bridge pose. Can lift the hips here, and it can be a pretty low bridge, totally fine. Lightly hugging the block, and then keeping the tailbone lengthening toward the heels so you aren't kind of arching in the lower back. And then you can add on a little pulse here if you like. I feel that grip in the glutes, the length in the lower back. And keep that breath going nice and easy. You can keep pulsing there if you like, or just hold your bridge. Go ahead, reach your arms straight up toward the ceiling. Now flip the palms up so the fingers are back. I'm going to take the left hand to the right fingers and pull them back there. So we're just stretching out the wrist. If it feels okay, you can reach the thumb out to the side as well. Noticing that you're not letting go of that work in your glutes. And then switching sides, right hand pulls the left fingers back. And then let your arms lower all the way back down to the floor. Now you're going to roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. So think upper back, middle back, and lower back until your sacrum finally makes that connection as well. Bring your hands behind your head. We're going to keep the block where it is. Hug your elbows in so you're cupping your skull. Now, just like you did before, lengthen the back of the neck. So even with your thumbs maybe at your hairline, kind of lengthen and reach that area back so the chin will draw down slightly. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, lift up off your shoulder blades. Now lean your head back into your hands a bit, but don't lift your chin up. So keeping that length in the back of the neck. Hugging in with the belly, side to side, top to bottom, and then drawing that down toward the sacrum. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. Watching the neck, and just imagining here in the belly that we're not kind of poking up here, but we're hugging in and we're drawing down. We're gonna feel a lot of work there. Inhale, lower back down. Nice. Exhale, lift up. Hold it here. Draw the sides of your ribs in towards center and then turn just about an inch to the right. So not letting go of the ribs. We're still lifted off this right shoulder blade. Come back through center. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift up. You can always gaze down at the belly, hug the side ribs in, pull down toward the sacrum, turn just about an inch to the left. So it's really, really tiny, but we're holding this consolidation. Back through center, inhale to lower. One more time here, you're doing great. Exhale, lift. Turn an inch to the right. Don't lose that hold. Back through center. Inhale to lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Turn an inch to the left, hugging in with the side ribs, pulling the pubic bone up. Back through center and release. Nice. So we'll take the block off to the side there and then come around into a tabletop. So you'll be on your hands and knees here. Go ahead and bring the shoulders right over the wrist and the hips right over the knees, spreading the fingers nice and wide. We're going to do a couple rounds of cat and cow here, but segmentally. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to move each section of the spine instead of just the areas that move really easily. So starting by turning the tailbone up slightly, softening just in the belly a little bit, and then soften down through that middle part of the spine. Keep your arms nice and straight. See if you can soften down the space in between your shoulder blades. Maybe you pick your gaze up a bit. And then reversing that. So begin to curl the tailbone under, lift up in the belly, lift up in the low back, and then that middle part of the spine, the space up in between the shoulder blades, and then you can let your head drop. Let's do one more like that. So turning the tailbone up, not completely just letting go in the belly, so keep a little bit of that tone. Moving up through the middle back, the upper back, settle it toward the floor. You can lift your gaze up a bit, and then reversing that. Tailbone under, just imagining moving up one vertebra at a time. Nice. And then we'll keep more of this rounded cat feeling. Go ahead, tuck your toes under, and we're gonna pike the hips up for downward facing dog. Good. So you can be on your toes. Arms are nice and straight, pushing the floor away. And then you can bend your knees a bit and then really think hip creases up. So it's like we're lengthening out the spine a little bit more. Take a breath there. And then we're going to start to walk your hands back toward your feet. And this is where you can always grab a hold of your blocks. So the heels will come down. And then with the hands on the floor and the blocks, think about sending your hip creases back. So it might be really helpful to place your fingers in your hips here. Hip creases are back and your spine is long. So imagine that feeling even here of back of the skull, kind of on this imaginary wall or ceiling here. Shoulder blades and sacrum all in one line. And then keep that feeling, rise to stand. Awesome. Okay, so starting at the back of the mat here, I'm going to take one hand behind your skull and one hand back to your sacrum, right at the base of your spine. Now think about moving your chin back into the top hand, lengthening the back of the neck, and then your sacrum is in that same line. So kind of draw the sacrum back into that bottom hand. So you should feel nice and upright here. Now keeping this feeling, I'm just going to start to walk forward until you come to the top of your mat here. Nice. And then let's keep the hands where they are this first time. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, we're going to keep this shape, but just sit back into the hip creases. The knees will bend. So we're coming down into a squat, but maintaining that length in the spine. And then you can bring your hands down either to blocks or to the floor. We're going to step the right foot back, lower the knee, and come up into a low lunge here. So the right hip is going to be directly over the knee. Check in with this right glute. We want the glute to wrap down and that right glute to squeeze. You can bring your arms up here. Now imagine that feeling even here. Skull, shoulder blades, sacrum all in one line. And then the right hand will land either on a block or the floor. Hug this right shoulder back away from the ear, and then open up for a twist. Nice. And you can let your head kind of relax here. That ear can soften toward the shoulder. One more big breath. So we got a big move coming up here. We're going to come into a side angle pose. So the left forearm will land on the left thigh. Spin the right heel down and open up to the side of your mat here. So you can always adjust the positioning of the front and back foot if anything feels a little bit funky there. But now imagine lifting up this bottom side rib cage, pushing into that right foot. Take a big breath in and exhale. All right, we're going to drive down into the feet, lift up warrior two, so arms come forward and back. Take an inhale, and then exhale, reverse that warrior, reach up and back. And now lift into that top side rib cage. Good. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. Inhale there, exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Good. Come back to your warrior two. And now we're going to windmill up and around to face the back of the mat, coming into downward facing dog. Remember, you can always have your hands on your blocks in your down dog. So pushing down into the hands here, lifting the forearms up away from the floor, take the right leg and reach it straight up. And then we'll step the right foot down. Same thing with the left. Reach it up and down. Keep going there. Relax your head. And see if you can keep hugging your ribs up. So it's kind of that same work that we did in our abs at the beginning. Now both feet will come down. And slowly we're going to start to walk the feet forward to the hands. You can come up onto the fingertips if you like there. And then from here, either up on your fingertips or hands on blocks, sit your hip creases back and keep your spine nice and long. Nice. And then keeping that shape in the spine, rise all the way up to stand. Awesome. So bring your arms forward and up here, inhale. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Spine stays nice and long there, you got it. Hands come down, and then we'll step the left foot back and lower the knee and rise to stand. So check in that this left hip is directly over the knee. Tailbone is lengthening down, and we're squeezing that glute. And bring your arms up here. And you can always do a little check-in with the hand on the skull and the hand on the sacrum, drawing back nice and long. Left hand lands either on the block or on the floor. Hug this left shoulder away from the ear, and then rotating open in the ribs for your twist. Couple breaths here. So here's our move. Coming into a side angle, right forearm lands on the right thigh, spin the left heel down, beautiful. Left arm reaches up. Got a nice little pop in my hip there. So we're lifting this bottom side rib cage, pushing into that left foot. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lift up, warrior two, arms reach forward and back, inhale. And exhale, up and back, reverse warrior, lifting into this right side rib cage. Inhale, and exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, and exhale, side angle. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. Inhale there. Exhale, reverse. Inhale. And exhale, warrior two. Now hold it here. We're going to windmill around to face the front of the mat this time. Downward facing dog. We're going to take the left leg, reach it up, just to about hip height there, holding the ribs in still. Step the left foot down. Take the right leg up. Nice. So holding the forearms up away from the floor. Keeping the shoulders a little bit more supported there. Last one. And then the left foot will come down. The hands can always be up on your blocks there. And start to walk your feet as far forward as you can. And if that is only a step or two, totally fine. You can come up onto the fingertips. Heels are down. You can always elevate the hands here on the blocks or even on your knees. Feel the hip creases sitting back. Spine stays nice and long. And then we'll rise to stand just like that. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead, come down onto your back. And grab a hold of your block here if you've got it handy. So we're going to take the block on its highest setting in line with the right hip, and then bring the left knee across on top of that block there. I'm actually going to take something beneath my head as well. You can use a block, you can use a pillow or a blanket. And then let's bring the arms out to the right so that the left hand is stacked on top of the right there. Nice. Then we're going to take this left arm, open it up here for a nice little twist. And then you can hold it here, or you can do a few of these little moves back and forth. But wherever you are, reconnecting to your breath. And then as you're ready, just go ahead and switch sides. We're going to take the block in line with the left hip on its highest setting. Right knee comes across. And then you can start by reaching the right hand to stack on top of the left hand. And then we'll open up for a little twist. And totally fine if the arm does not come down to the floor. You can always prop something to kind of hold the arm up there. Just feeling that big full breath in the right side of your ribs. And as you're ready, just making your way onto your back. And just settle in for a brief Savasana here. You can let your arms rest by your sides or place your hands on your body somewhere. Maybe over your heart and over your belly. Let yourself sink in. And allowing yourself just this time to absorb the effort you put in and the work that you put in. And let your next inhale be a little bit deeper. And your exhale a little slower. And just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And as you're ready, make your way over to your side and back up to a seat. Wonderful, wonderful job today. As always, I really appreciate you joining me. And if you enjoyed this class, it would really help me out if you would give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone you think it might be useful for, and subscribe so that you are not missing any new classes that I post. So, for me and Jasper, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.